The wow word for today is worship. Now I wonder what you think worship is. Is your view of worship too small, perhaps? Worship is giving God alone glory due to his name in the beauty of his holiness with reverence. This is where, through the use of the mind and the senses, honour and respect are directed towards God in spirit and in truth. Worshipping in spirit involves the whole person, mind, body and will. Worshipping in truth means that all true worship reflects God's character. The Christian church has 2,000 years of worship resources, all of which can be used in modern church services and not just the latest songs. Worship in a church service should be an intimate, dynamic and holy encounter with God. But why worship? Firstly, because God commands it. As 1 Chronicles 16 verse 29 reminds us, give to the Lord the glory he deserves. Bring your offering and come into his presence. Worship the Lord in all his holy splendour. And God deserves worshipping, for he alone personifies goodness, mercy, holiness and power. God is to be worshipped in obedience to him as Creator, Saviour and Lord. Worship brings exuberant satisfaction. When was the last time you had worship like that? And of course, worshipping with others in a church is worship, but it is only part of worship, and certainly not the full meaning of biblical worship. Does that surprise you? Worship is not just to be on the Sunday or during individual acts during the rest of the week. Worship in the wider biblical sense of the word for the Christian is to be an active, dynamic relationship with Jesus Christ and seeking a life of total submission and obedience to him. True worship of the living God involves total obedience to his ways and not just singing songs or reading the Bible. For the ancient Israelites, sacrifices were an innate part of their life and worship structure. Yet as Samuel said, behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed than the fat of rams. 1 Samuel 15 verse 22. What he is saying is that God prefers life obedience rather than acts of worship. Obedience and submission to God is true worship of him. By seeking to obey him and submit your life to him, that is true worship of him. Worship is to be to God alone. Yet sometimes preachers and other church leaders are raised to an unhealthy status of reverence that is unbiblical. It is as if they are being worshipped rather than God, to whom you are exhorted to obey and submit to. So go obey and submit your life to God and make your whole life an act of worship to him. Worship. How's that for a wow word?